If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Quick shout out to my amazing sponsors for the Patriot Barbie podcast. My title sponsor is Dr. Stephen Soloway. He is known globally as the Miracle MD. He's the author of Bad Medicine, a book about bad politics, bad government, bad hospitals, bad drug companies, and bad doctors. Buy it on drsoloway.com. My other sponsor, Celtic Plastics, is a water filtration system for your home and work that clears bacteria, fluoride, and heavy metals from your drinking water. You can buy one on CelticPlastics.com and use my code PatriotBarbie for 10% off. And one last shout out to Red Balloon. Thousands of companies are pushing back on wokeness in the workplace. Find a freedom-loving, non-woke job at redballoon.work and follow them on Instagram at redballoonwork. For all my sponsor info, book, and merch, go to PatriotBarbie.com. Like, subscribe, and share this podcast. Now, let's get into today's episode. Welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast. I'm your host, Lindsey Graham, author and conservative activist. I love Jesus. I love America. I'm a proud wife, mom of 3, and I'm having bold and witty conversations with America's patriots, the ones that cancel culture desperately want to blacklist. Trust me, I've been there. In 2020, I defied government lockdowns in Oregon, reopened my salon, and became an icon of freedom. I've been targeted by government and raging liberals every day since, and I refuse to back down. Patriots, I'm here to tell you, your values are worth fighting for. The Patriot Barbie podcast starts now. Welcome to the Patriot Barbie podcast. I'm already laughing because the producer says go, and Josh Scott's checking his fantasy football on his phone. This is how authentic this is going to be.
Yeah, pretty authentic. I'm in the middle of a fantasy football draft as we speak, and I just got to give it to God and hope I get some good picks.
I'm going to give my fantasy football to God. I love it.
I'm giving it to God.
Dear Lord, let me win the fantasy football.
Just give me some good picks. Give me what I need.
How much money's riding on your picks?
So that's just a $5. It's just a $5 fantasy football pick, but it's nationwide. So like if you get top 10, it's like a $50,000 prize.
Okay, Lord Jesus, I also pray for Josh's fantasy football.
And then I'm in a $25 one where the top prize is $2 million.
Holy smokes. See, I don't do this stuff, but I feel like if the Lord is with us, right, I could just go down and pick, whatever. This is what some girls do. Some of you girls are awesome, but the best looking dudes, the most buff dudes, the tannest
coolest
dudes.
Uniforms.
The coolest uniforms, the most unique name.
Right. I like
and then
that
I'm
team.
going to hit the big time. I'm going to win accidentally, but that never happens.
It could though.
It could. Maybe I should try it. $5 is
$5. You spend that on a coffee.
Yeah. I'd much rather win. I'd much rather browse.
That's a lot of coffee.
Hot football
if you win.
dudes for $5.
Hot football guys. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Do you think they'll ever come up with fantasy football bands? Wouldn't that be cool? I'm saying this because you're sitting here. Like if you're like, oh, I'm going to pick my best drummer, my best singer, but that's not a thing, right?
Oh, a fantasy football music
band.
thing.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Like George Strait would be the #1 pick.
Yeah.
Like it'd be.
And then you'd put them together and see if they could actually perform, or if it'd be like a nightmare.
Or a nightmare. Like what if you get like George Strait and then so you did like an automatic draft because like Jason Aldean was at the top of your list and you got like George Strait and Jason Aldean. You're like, I don't think that's going to work.
No. Or, they try to sing together and one can't harmonize and the other's taking over. And then you've got like someone from Ozzy Osbourne drumming and they're like, what is this slow crap? I cross my heart.
That's funny. Where are we even at? How did this even start? Did you even introduce me as a guest yet?
I guess so. No, not even yet. You were checking your thing and he said we're live. And I was like, this is going to be the best podcast ever.
Yeah, they don't even know who I am. We're just talking fantasy football.
This is Josh Scott. He is iHeart Music winner, Song of the Year 2021.
Yeah, 2021.
With that bottle.
That bottle, iHeartRadio 2021 Song of the Year.
Wait, hold on. Let's check it out really quick. We're going to pretend we checked it out, okay?
We did that,
dude. That song is legit.
It's legit. Yeah, it's legit. It's funny because it's definitely not my most popular song, but the song fit the narrative. At the time, it was a contest that Jack Daniels and iHeartRadio put on, and I thought, wow, it'd be cool. That bottle, Jack Daniels, it kind of fit, and then it just kind of it worked. There was I believe, like over 70,000 entries nationwide.
That's so amazing.
iHeart and Jack Daniels picked their top 18 songs in the country, and then it went to a fan vote. So
okay.
And then we wiped them out, man. We
So had you already written it before the contest, and it was kind of where was it? Was it sitting in your files waiting to be recorded? Was it recorded in like?
No, it was right around the time I think when I first started releasing music, which was like December maybe of 2020 is when I first started releasing songs, and I released 5 songs, and this time was kind of the popular song. It was like up over 500,000 streams at the time. But we thought for the competition, let's submit that bottle. It was kind of on a whim. I was laying in bed one night, and a buddy texted me and said, "Hey, there's this competition. You ought to so just get involved." And I was like, didn't even know about it. So I submitted that bottle, and then
Did you have to pay to submit it?
No, it was just a free submission.
That's cool.
So I submitted it, and like 2 weeks later, I got an email from KNIX saying I won.
That is wild.
Right? That's
wild.
Hey, man, you won. You're you got picked top 18 in the country. You're representing Arizona. And I was like, crazy. So they took me down to the KNIX studio. I think I got like $1,000 local check. And they said, hey, you're going up against 18 songs nationwide, different artists, country artists, rock artists, rap artists. They picked your song.
So it was all categories.
It was every category.
I didn't know that. I thought, that makes it even more amazing because...
Yeah, it was going up against every genre.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Because not everyone loves country, so for a country song to win. So it won the overall contest.
It won the overall contest. Okay. And I tell you what, we would have won again this year, but they didn't allow me to get in.
Why?
Don't know.
I know why. Because they're communists.
I don't know about that.
Because you came out as a conservative. I guarantee it.
Well, I don't know about that. Well, I didn't get to get in. For whatever reason, when you win, I guess you.
They probably don't want you to win again. I mean, that would be unfair. Like if you won the first time, you're very, very talented, right? So then they're gonna let Jason Aldean enter. I mean,
right. Well, I seen who won this year already, and I have every song I've written is better than those guys. It's just being honest. And we had a song too we wanted to submit. And my wife and I talked about we had a couple songs that we wanted to submit. We thought would be great. Where can a man get a drink in this town? You've heard that one.
I haven't.
You haven't?
No, I haven't.
That's one.
I gotta check.
So that's one that we're going to release soon, and we thought, man, that would be cool to release that one in this competition. It's kind of where can a man get a drink? Jack Daniels again, and we thought definitely we could get in and win again, but we didn't get the opportunity.
So what makes let's go back to the 50s, 60s, whatever it is. What makes someone like Elvis Presley not put a song in? He would obviously dominate, right?
For sure, yeah.
Is there a level of you can't?
It's independent artists only.
Okay.
So you can't be
you can't be record labeled or
so it's independent artists only who put in the song. So if you're signed with the record label or anything, you can't submit. So
gotcha.
And that was one of the good things too. I had a couple opportunities to sign with some labels that I chose not to, and they didn't work out. And like I said, there's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of cool stuff that's happened, and then a lot of really, really frustrating stuff that's happened along the way. But that's part of the journey, I guess, you know. But it's pretty cool that, I get to sing country music for a living.
Yeah.
God's given me the opportunity to do that after all the stuff that has gone on in my life. And, I think we're doing some cool stuff now, and I think the future is going to be really, really bright. So I think that bottle was just a cool stepping stone and a cool platform to get on to go to this next chapter of my life, which is the Redneck Enough to Be Dangerous song, just getting ready to come out. And,
I would like to say, before everybody else says it, that I am redneck enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, and you know what?
Before Tito Ortiz says it, before President Trump says it.
Yeah, we know it's cool because we were in Montana on the Montana tour, and I got on a radio interview on 96.3 The Bear, and I'd sent him the song the night before, and just I wanted him to hear it, and so obviously they listened to it, and we were in there and we were doing a radio interview, and he's like, "Hey, dude, can I play it? Can I be the first one to play it
on FM radio?
On air, yeah, on live radio." And so it was cool. We were standing in there, and I said, "Yeah, play it," and they played it, and it just went crazy. I had so many people show up to my show that night because I told everybody where I was playing. Cool. I had truck drivers that had come in, waited to talk to me after the show, and they're like, "Dude, I heard the song. I heard your story. I was driving in my truck, and I wanted to come here and meet you." The next night, I was 3 hours away in a different town, different hotel. We were checking into a hotel. There was a dude upstairs who heard my voice, and he called down to me and he said, "Hey, are you Josh Scott?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Hey, man, I'm redneck enough to be dangerous." I thought that was so cool. That
gave
me goosebumps.
I mean, I've heard the song. Is it like a call to action? I'm trying to remember the lyrics. I know that you sing. I've heard it so many times, and I know you sing them just redneck.
So basically, the song is, I wrote the song because of this kind of what happened to me after I won that bottle, which was a lot of crazy.
Which we're going to
things.
get into, by the way.
We'll get. I'm sure you want to dive into that.
I do.
So I kind of wrote that song just because of the the stuff that I'd gone through after winning the Song of the Year and some of the ups and downs. And Ray Herndon and I wrote that song just kind of about what's going on in America right now, just kind of what's going on in the world and what I believe everybody's going through. And I thought the song was perfect for every American who still loves their country, who still loves their flag, who still loves their family, who loves Jesus. And I thought the song is it's an anthem for them.
I love it.
And for us, for everybody.
Yeah. So a little bit about you winning iHeartRadio, and we've discussed this in just like very small depths, but basically you won iHeartRadio Song of the Year. However, it was around the time when pretty much every arena, every ticket company, every platform said, if you want to perform, here's your invitation, but you must get vaccinated, right?
There's a lot of stuff to do with COVID, yeah. So I didn't get to do a lot of stuff because of COVID. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Because of lockdowns.
Because of lockdowns, because of COVID, because for whatever reason, iHeartRadio, Jack Daniels, they're very, very strict on everything COVID related. And it was really, really frustrating. I'll say that it was frustrating. I remember going in, I love Jack Daniels. I love the brand Old Number 7. It's the most iconic and American symbol whiskey. It's made in Tennessee, it's and then I remember winning the competition and I was in the KNX studio and I was taking pictures with Tim Hattrick and the KNIX the Jack Daniels representative, and the guy couldn't take a picture without having his mask on with me.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought,
because he was afraid people would say, "Oh, you're not masked," and
so
he would take it off. Would he take it off and then just when you get back?
No,
in the
the
picture,
dude wore a mask the whole time. Me and Tim Hattrick, Tim Hattrick was I'm not wearing a mask, and I thought that was cool. I love Tim Hattrick. I've been listening to him since I was a kid. But in order for the representative of Jack Daniels to take a picture with us and to be with us, the dude had to have a mask on the whole time. And I thought, this is Old Number 7. This is Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah,
you guys are supposed
American
to be kick the buck, take your mask off.
No one tells me what to do.
Right, and they couldn't. So I thought, man, it doesn't matter who you are or what you represent. These dudes were they were wearing masks, and it was part of their job. And I guess that's what somebody's boss told this guy, and somebody's boss told that guy, and it went down the line, and they couldn't do nothing without a mask. So
I think 2020 and 2021 really was a wake up, not a wake up call because we know what that means, but it kind of opened your eyes to which companies could say one thing and do another, right? If you're all American, if you're patriotic, if you're representing being an American brand, we need you to step up and actually showcase that publicly and in the media and on the news and in your social media, that you stand for freedom. And the fact that you're sitting here saying, Jack Daniels is this all-American company, which they are, and it's they had a chance to make an example at that time and place that we can never go back to, and they chose to sell out. That kind of sucks.
They chose to fall in line.
Yeah, fall in line is the perfect way to put it.
They chose to fall in line. And that's their decision. And I'm not talking bad about them. It is what it is. It's what happened.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened. And everybody was so scared to take their mask off and to be around another person without a mask. And I thought that was just so weird.
How am I supposed to drink your whiskey, bro, with a mask on?
Right. You know what I mean? We're taking pictures for a competition.
Monumental lifetime memories.
Yeah, and this guy cannot take a picture without a mask. So I think, it's great to win iHeartRadio Song of the Year. I'm blessed that, that my song got chosen out of all the songs. I'm blessed that the fans voted me in. I won by a landslide. I won by more than 20,000 votes. I thank Montana and I thank Arizona for getting behind me and making the song a song of the year. But I think, winning it was great, but I think I wanted it piss poor time, you know what I mean? But also I think, I got to meet you. I got to meet Carrie Lake.
Yeah.
I got to get involved with Sheriff Lamb. I won the song, and then some of the stuff that happened because of the things that I couldn't do because of COVID, I got to meet some of the people that I believe are changing my life and are going to be a better part of my life moving forward, making a difference for people.
It's part of your story. If you had just won, let's just go to imaginary world, and if you had just won, and then you went and did all these concerts, and your songs hit, and maybe you would have been like insanely famous for a couple years. Maybe you would have, the fame would have hit you and you would have drove yourself to drinking, and Mary would have ditched you because you became super crazy, conceited superstar Josh Scott.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what God saved you from?
Who knows?
And this,
I'd
what
like to
happened
think
to you.
none of that would happen, but
You never know.
You never know.
You're like, it's a little too close to home.
Yeah, you never know.
But, this is all part of your story. And, I always tell people, man, what an awesome time to be alive when we get to stand for something.
Yeah.
Like you say, they fell in line. Like, we've never fallen in line. And that's such an honor to be alive in a time when it's so expected. Like, I can be such a different person.
You got to stand for something or you fall for anything, right?
That's a classic.
Classic line.
So you got all these opportunities to, what was that? You got a really big opportunity to sing the national anthem somewhere. And they told you couldn't do it because you wouldn't get vaccinated. Where was that? Do you remember? Was it the Grand Ole Opry?
No, I wish it was the Grand Ole Opry.
I went extreme.
Yeah, it was the Arizona Cardinals football game.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Big deal.
And they said, got to get vaccinated.
Yes.
And you refused.
Yes.
See, I think it's wild that, obviously I don't believe in the vaccination. I don't trust it. I don't think it's science at all. But, some people chose to get it. Good for them. But like to take other people's life and lifestyles and freedoms and say, here's an opportunity for you, but you will comply with what we demand.
Right.
It's like you're changing people's lives. You're ruining people's lives. You're taking opportunities away from other people.
Well, I think the opportunities that I lost, they were unfortunate. And COVID, like I said, COVID caused that. And that was some unfortunate things. But I also look at like all the people that like were going to flat out lose their job if they didn't get vaccinated. Mm-hmm. Like people that were put in a situation like nurses and like
with kids,
with firefighters and people like they said, that like they live paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
I could go get another gig. I could go get another job. I had other opportunities that came to me because of the situation that I'm grateful for. But like, look at all the people that flat out like, hey man, if you don't take this, you're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your paycheck and you can't pay your rent.
Steady paycheck. And not like, I can just go get another job somewhere else.
Like you're fired.
Yeah.
20 years on the job. Yep. You don't take this jab, you're gone.
Well, and nurses too, they can't just go get another job. It was like nationwide, every hospital.
Right.
So it's like you can go get a job. And they said this throughout the entire pandemic. I mean, they said it to me for opening my salon. Well, you could go work at an essential job. I'm like, so I could go work at McDonald's for minimum wage, or I could do my job that I'm highly trained in and experienced in, and I make 10 times more money. But that's not okay with you.
Right.
Like nurses you can't have like a single mom being at home could not just go get a different job,
right?
Because she's paying someone to watch her children during the day. Like, I don't need to explain this; it's stupid.
And look at all the nurses that were on the front line before they had, before they had the shot, before they had the vaccination that everybody was so scared about, right? It's fear mongers people, and all these nurses, and they had all this fear in us that everybody thought they were going to die unless they got vaccinated. And all these nurses that were on the front line helping people who had COVID didn't have a vaccination. And then to make them lose their job if they don't get it after all they went through. And because in the beginning, remember, everybody was so scared. COVID's coming. It's going to kill the world. The world's over, right? So they had everybody scared. And so through all that fear, the nurses still did their job. Right? And so for them to be put in a situation to where now we have a vaccination, you got to take it or you're fired. That was
such a slap in the face.
It was pretty incredible. So I feel really bad for them people. Like I looked at everything for me as opportunity.
Yeah.
So everything that
but it could be your fantasy football.
It's probably God picking up my picture right there. Ding ding, God's talking to me. So I look at it for all the people that really didn't have another opportunity. Like I had other opportunity because we made other opportunities. Some people didn't have that. So I think it's really shitty for them. Sorry, should I say shit on here?
I guess so. You just said it twice, so
thanks.
I'll edit it out if I need to. Okay. If the pastor's listening or whatever. Lord was dinging you. This is what he's saying. Hey, Josh, you're about to cuss. Don't cuss. And then you ignored the text.
I won't cuss anymore.
Well, yeah, I agree. Like, I think, I lost my business in Oregon, lost my salon, lost my huge income because I refused to comply.
Right.
And same story. Down here in Arizona, it's like, look at the doors that have opened. Look at the people that I've met. Now I'm a podcast voice. Like, it may not make as much money, but it's so purposeful that it's so much more fulfilling. And I feel like you taking your music career to a level where it's not about your next big hit and your next big record deal and your next big show and, how many Billboard charts have I made, which I hope you still do. I hope all that happens to you.
Right.
But it's more about, am I making music that's changing America, that's encouraging people, that's inspiring people, that's making the rednecks dangerous, you know, like you're doing something with purpose. Not all artists can say that. Very few artists can say that, actually.
And I do believe that, like, it's going to, like I said, this song, Redneck Enough to Be Dangerous, I believe it'll be an anthem next year. I believe it'll be, I believe at least 70 or 80 million Americans are going to love the song. And it's going to probably not be so popular for some Americans, which is fine.
That's fine.
But I believe that song next year, like, everybody's going to say, I'm redneck enough, and they're going to know what it means. And I believe that's going to open up the eyes to, millions of people to go look at the rest of my catalog, the rest of my work, and they're going to say, this guy's got some really good music that he made. And I think it's going to change my life, and I think it's going to change my life in a good way, and I'm going to be proud of it, you know what I mean? Because I'm proud of the song. I'm proud of the message behind it. I'm proud of the people that I got to meet because of it. Like, I met Carrie Lake and Hannah Barjay that night singing that song.
That's right.
And she was like, hey, that's a cool song. Can we talk? And I had a beer with Carrie Lake and Jeff. And,
so cool.
Now, like, we're really good friends. And, like, so it's really crazy from where I've been to, like, where music and this whole pandemic has taken me. Like, the people that I know and the people that I'm friends with now, like, never in a million years, 3 years ago, sitting in a prison cell, right, did I ever think that I would be in the situation that I'm in, and people would, like, people would, like, trust me with some of the stuff they're trusting me with moving forward. Like, it's an honor to, like, have Carrie Lake and Jeff. Like, last night I was talking to Carrie, and I said, hey, I need some video. I got to get some video for this video that I'm making. Yeah. And, like, Carrie Lake in the situation that she's in right now, marching towards being a governor, like, there's so many people trying to smear her, and so many people, she sent me last night basically everything.
Oh my gosh.
All the video.
Pine through it.
Right. All the video that she has for her campaign, and some stuff of her and I, and there's some stuff from the three of us when we were in Buckeye at the concert with Daryl Worley.
That's right.
And so I have this video, and I told my wife earlier, I'm like, man, it's pretty cool that Carrie Lake trusts me enough that she would send me this stuff. And
all her raw footage.
Right. Like, and trust me to do the right thing with it. Right. Trust me to make her, like, put her in a situation where it looks good on her, and not, and not use it as a disadvantage of her. I thought that was like,
that's so awesome.
It's really cool. It's just really cool. Like I said, it's really cool, the relationships that I've made. And like I said, I want to just do the best I can moving forward to be a part of America's comeback. Yep. Right. Totally. Be a part of being normal again. Yep. Whatever that is.
Being redneck. Yeah. You said, I know that you have such a great backstory, so I feel like we should tell people about it. So
let's tell them.
Like the testimony, if you will, like the life of Josh Scott. You weren't always a successful country music artist. Nope. I mean, God's pulled you from some pretty dark depths.
Yeah,
I've been. What's the story there?
I guess so. The story there is, I guess it was 10 or 12 years ago. I got into music a little bit, and my wife used to always go sing karaoke, and I thought it was like I never wanted to go, and so I went with her one night. We sang karaoke, and it was like all of a sudden, we sang karaoke this night in this little bar in Arizona City, and the people that owned the bar said, hey, would you come host karaoke for us on a weekend? We'll give you a few $100. And I thought, wow, I can come sing karaoke and make money.
Get paid for it.
So
no one's ever offered me that.
So I started doing that, and that turned into like 7 nights a week of hosting karaoke and just singing and having fun. And I would end up being a career. So I started, like, I had a karaoke business as a career for 7 or...
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's so cool. So I was hosting karaoke all over the place. I was working 7 nights a week. And then a band confronted me. They were called the Crossroads Band. It was a bunch of Mexican guys. And they're like, hey, we can't get any gigs. If you were our front man, I bet we could get some gigs. Oh. And I thought, okay, I'd love to sing some country music for a band. And so I got in this band called the Crossroads, and we started playing all over the place. And I ended up, in doing that, I ended up thinking I was a rock star. I'm the leader of a country band, right? Playing for 50 or 60 people. And I thought I was just a rock star. It led to drug use. It led to horrible decision-making. It led to, like, some of the worst times of my life. And it went from that to being alone in Las Vegas without my family, being a horrible person. Like, everybody thought I was cool because I was singing country music. I was had some really cool opportunities. And I just, between drugs, alcohol, not being a good dad, not being a good husband, I landed myself a 6.5-year prison sentence. Whew. So in that time, music led to 6.5 years in prison. I lost my brother, overdosed on heroin.
Oh man.
My mom died, in prison. You know what I mean? It was right after I'd lost my dad to a wrongful death suit in the VA hospital. So, you know, and I remember too. I remember going through the process of if I could just backdrop that real quick. So somehow along the way, God allowed me. This is the really strange story. I went to jail, right? I went to jail, and I should have never gotten out of jail because I had all these charges coming. Somehow, like, me and my wife weren't talking. I wasn't talking to my family. Like, this is a crazy story, and it's a true story. So we're in court one day, and somehow or another, the judge allows me to go home, right? And I remember I hadn't talked to my wife. I hadn't really talked to my kids. She was just like basically done with me. And we were in the courtroom, and the judge called my wife in court. It's a crazy story. And he's like, hey, I'm going to let him out. Will you take him home? And she was like, he needs a place to go, but I'm going to release him. And she said, yeah. And so I got to go home. And all of a sudden I was like, I just want to go to work. I just want to go work and be a good dad, be a good husband. So I started working on a farm, and I worked for like my ass off for like 6 months, and we were great. Like I just worked every day, 12, 14 hours a day. I thought God gave me another chance at life to be a good dad and a husband. No music, no nothing, just working. And I did it. We were like living good. I was on like this intense probation. I couldn't go anywhere but work, and it was fine. I worked my ass off. I'd come home, and we were good. And then one day I was on the farm, and just U.S. Marshals came out of everywhere. And,
to make you serve your sentence.
Yeah, they arrested me. So the feds dropped all my charges, and the state picked them up.
Oh my gosh.
And so they recharged me with everything. And I called her and I said, hey, I'm going to jail. And they all came and picked me up. And she thought I was joking with her. She's like, no, you're not. It's a joke. It's a bad joke. I was like, no, it's not. So I went back to jail. I remember leaving that morning. I got to say bye to my daughter and down the road in my truck, and they watched me go to work. That was the last time I got to see them for a long time. And
6.5 years.
Well, yeah, I remember getting sentenced to 6.5 years.
Okay.
And I remember that sentence. I remember I'm going to miss every one of my son's high school football games. Every one. That sentence got me from like when he was 12 to when he's 18. Like, I'm going to miss him growing into a man, you know.
That's sad.
Yeah, so it was rough. It was rough. It was a rough time. And in that 6.5 years, so the 6.5 years came up, and it was on my birthday. My brother had just died. I was getting ready to come home, and Maricopa County hung a charge back, and they waited 6.5 years to charge me with it. So I'm getting ready to go home. I'm right to my release date. Maricopa County says, hey, we're going to charge you again with the same charge that we didn't charge you with 6 years ago. So they came and picked me up. They gave me 4.5 more years. And so I ended up doing about 8 years total. And like, it was just a mess. It was just a mess in there. And like, I just had a lot of lonely nights, a lot of tough times. My family got me through it. I talked to my daughter 2 or 3 times every day. Like, you know, my daughter, Jayla, she always had my back. She never judged me, she just wanted me to come home, and she waited for me, and my wife waited for me. My son and I, our relationship was pretty much destroyed. I've had to repair it since I've come home.
Oh man.
And so yeah, like I prayed every night that, you know, my prayer every night was just you know, let me see my family again. Let me have an opportunity to be a good dad again, a good husband, and to give me an opportunity in life and take care of my family. I never prayed for me in there. I got through what I had to go through in there, which was tough sometimes.
You think God was like, I'm trying to picture, you know, when we say God is he's so good and he's so gracious. And I think about you getting your release date and then getting sentenced again.
On my birthday. True story.
Do you think he just was still working on you? He's like, gosh, I mean,
I do.
You got more work to do.
It's crazy because when I got that extra 4.5 years, they sent me to a different facility. And in that facility, they had this music room.
Aha.
Right?
There it is.
I
knew it.
They had this music room in this facility.
There was something.
And they allowed me to, Mr. Timmerman was his name. And I talked to him. You know, we're friends now. So Mr. Timmerman was my boss, and he hired me to run the band room. And I got to go in the band room every day. I got to write music. I had a whole band around me. We did shows on the yard. I got to write music and bring songs to life.
This is the good stuff.
Yeah.
We've talked before about this, but this stuff has not come out. This is the good stuff.
No, this is stuff people really don't know.
This is God showing his plan.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we don't know what it is, but when I ask these questions and the more you say, it's like,
yeah. So this is stuff people don't know. Like, so all of a sudden I'm at this yard where they've got this little bitty hole in the wall music room, and they got band guys in there who play. And I started writing music. I started doing shows on the yard. I started singing to 700 inmates out there. It would be like the yard would go completely quiet, and I'd go out there and I'd do a show, and I would sing to these 700 inmates who, anywhere from murderers to, you know, drug dealers to, you know, cartel members, and everybody would come out. 700 people would come out of their dorms and just stand, and I'd do an hour show, and people would just, like, it would be, you couldn't hear a person talk on that place. It was almost scary, you know.
Yeah.
But,
was your music inspiring then? Was it faith-based, or was it just good old, you know, my dog died, my car broke down?
No,
you know,
it was like This Time, you know, the song This Time that I wrote, you know, so that we were playing that on the yard. And
so it was inspiring and probably blessing all these inmates.
Yeah. So you know, it's not something you get to hear when you're in you know, it's not something you don't get to hear on live music or no, nothing like that. And so at that time, you know, I didn't tell anybody in prison I was a country music artist or my backstory. You know, once you get into prison, you're an orange like everybody else. No one gives a shit about what you did or what you done.
Yeah.
You got to get through it, you know. So
unless you're a pedo and they kill you, which is great.
Yeah. Which you deserve.
Totally fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're good at that. Saying that on the air, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine. They don't put those guys on the yard mostly because that happens.
Yeah.
You know, if you put a pedophile on the yard, they don't do so well.
Good.
Which they shouldn't.
Good.
And you know, some people say it's a disease, and I can't believe pedophiles get like.
Good,
there's
put them out of their misery, then.
There's pedophiles who got less. They get less time than I did.
Yeah, that's
and
disgusting.
I never. Anyways.
Yeah.
So that music room changed my life. I would like send my wife songs, and I would tell her what we're doing, and I was like, you know, I found this, like, just knew everything. And like, so we would just like, we were looking forward to coming home, and like that music kind of transitioned me home.
Mm-hmm. Did you know when you got out, like, okay, I'm going to pursue this?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
It was just like, it's something to do while I'm in prison, and I'm obviously pretty good at it.
But I tell you what, I told my wife and my daughter, and they would come visit me on the weekends, and I told them in there, I tell them, I got these songs. They're good. And I told them, even in there, I told them, you watch, 2023 is my year.
Ooh, that's coming up.
I told them that the whole time, years ago.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, years ago.
And 20 is a random number back then.
It's a random number back there. But I told them 2023 is going to be my year. Like, it's going to be my year to where everybody knows who Josh Scott is, and the world's listening to my music. That's something I told my daughter and my wife years ago. And it's crazy that I think it's all fallen into place. So
3 months away. Are you ready?
We're ready. But then we also have 12 months to get it to still make it my year.
That's right.
So we can't give up if it's like November.
No. We're going to keep going. Yeah.
Right. So so I came home. My wife did not want me to do music. She wanted me to get a job, and she wanted me just to work, which I did. I came home, and 3 months. 3 months. I came home. I worked for 3 months.
Okay. Well, I want to go a little bit into like. So Mary picked you up when you were released. She took you back home, even though you weren't speaking. So she forgave you, welcomed you back in. Like, I want to hear about that process and what kind of woman she had to be to forgive that, and then wait the 6 years and then wait the other 2. And like, what changed, or is she just that amazing of a person? Like,
well,
if I would, something happen?
If I wouldn't have got out, if I would not have got out for that time that I got out,
she wouldn't. No, there's no way.
There's no. It wouldn't have worked. She wouldn't be sitting here with me today. Yeah. She was done with me, and I wouldn't be able to like. I mean, because like I'm telling you, I have no idea how I got out. How that judge let me go that day was a miracle. God, I'm telling you, that was God's work.
He's like, I got to keep, your family needs to be here for you.
And if I didn't get to go home and make up with my family, then, you know, like that, I'm telling you.
2023 would not be your year.
No, it wouldn't be. It would not be. So it takes a forgiving person. It takes a stubborn person. It takes a person who is not willing to give up on a lot of history that we have together since high school. It takes a woman who cares about her children and wants their dad to be a part of their life. It takes a lot to forgive some of the things that I did.
So she came and picked you up, brought you home, and said, "Let's figure this out."
No, we slept in different rooms.
Okay.
when I first came home, like I was sleeping.
Juicy details.
I was with my son. I think I slept in my son's room. Like me and my son would hang out and play PlayStation, and I was in there hanging out with him, sleeping in his bed with him, and she was sleeping in her room.
Was she just saying, "All right, you can live here, just figure your stuff out"?
Basically,
just because I'm a nice person.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But I proved to her
you
that
won her over again.
Yeah, I won her. I won her over with hard work. Like I just told her, I said, you know what? I think I just want to I told her I just want to go work on a farm. I need some hard labor in my life I just need some man's work, I told her. And so I went and found a sod farm. I said, hey, will you hire me? And they're like, what do you know what I mean? Like,
I'm strong, come on.
It's me and a bunch of Hispanics out here on this farm. And I ended up being doing well out there. Those guys loved me, and I ended up being they promoted me to a foreman, and I ended up doing really good on the farm. I was working 14-hour days. I'd bring the kids out, and we'd drive around on the tractors, and the kids would come out and play on the farm. We'd play flag football. They have a huge sod farm out there, so out in the middle of Arizona, there's this huge grass field. I'd bring the kids and all their friends out there. We'd go play tackle football, and it was great. Yeah,
I just got a vision of you on a haystack playing too, like the prison yard, but that didn't happen.
No haystacks in prison.
No haystacks on your farmland though.
Yeah, they were say building.
Did you get up and play a ditty for the?
No, we didn't do no music. Okay. We just worked. We worked, and we just kind of went out there and hung out as a family, and
so cool.
That's all we did. And so we started working, and I think after a couple of weeks, she was like, "Wow, he's changed." After a month, I think she's seen I changed. I was just ready to give it all to my family, and I was thrilled that God gave me an opportunity, and then. One day, just swoosh, out of nowhere, it was taken away again.
Gosh.
It was rough. It was a lot of ups and downs.
It's all just such a purpose, though. It's hard to think that you had to sacrifice so much to get to where you are, but I think
a lot of, I'm telling you, there was a lot of ups and downs. And I tell you what, I remember some times in prison where the only person I seen every 72 hours was the guard who would come handcuff me and take me to the shower. And I sat in a cell by myself, alone, for months and months and months. And I remember I got my phone calls. So I would look forward to every night around 7, I got to use the phone. And I got to call my wife and my daughter and talk to them. And you look forward to that every day. That's how you get through it. You're like, okay, I got a phone call tomorrow.
Yeah, counting down the time.
That's what I got a phone call tomorrow night. That's what you look forward to. My phone call, my visits. You just kind of keep looking forward to those things. And somehow, days turn into years, and 8 years goes by, and then you just kind of get out and you say, I just, now I've got
over. Time to move forward.
Yeah, time to go move forward, and that's what I did.
Do you think too that that time there, we talk about freedom all the time and what's going on in America and the nation, and I feel like that was the ultimate lack of freedom. Did it build your character into kind of the American that you are now?
Oh, for sure. Prison and what I went through in the journey of my life turned me into who I am today, for sure. And it's just it's really, really crazy. If I didn't go to prison, if I didn't get that extra time, I wouldn't have met Ray Herndon. I wouldn't have met the people that I met. Everything that's happened in my life, I believe God had a plan for me. He had to, right? Yep. All the rough stuff that I went through and all the crazy ups and downs led me to where I am today. And I just believe that has to be God's work.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not mine. It's God's work, and I'm just trying to do the best I can right now. And I'm still not the best. I'm still not the best person ever. I'm still not always the best husband. I'm still not always the best dad. I'm way too much of a friend to my kids because I feel kind of being gone so long. It's hard to be sometimes I feel I don't have the right to really put them in their place or discipline them the way they probably should be. But I've done a really good job at being a dad too. I got to coach. It's crazy. How crazy is it to go to 8 years in prison and then get out and a high school hire you? Yeah. I was employed by a high school.
That's so good.
And they let me coach my daughter's high school basketball team. That's God's work too. Who hires a guy who just got out of prison 8 years to work at a high school?
Right.
What's wrong with that high school?
Your kids are pretty good. I've met them. I don't know that they need to be put in their place too often. I think so. Mary did a pretty good job.
She did a great job, but she gets mad sometimes. She's always like, "You need to do this or do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Here's some money, Jayla. I love you."
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yesterday, we were she went out the other night. She's in college now, and she's enjoying her freedom. She's got a full red scholarship to play basketball. And the other night, she texted me at 11:30 at night, and she. Dad, I need some money to eat. I didn't see the text till 1:30, and I looked at my phone. I looked at her location. She's at a nightclub on Mill Avenue, and I came unglued. And I said, I came unglued. She couldn't understand why I was being so mad at her. She didn't think she's doing nothing wrong. So I told my wife, I said, "Oh, you're going to see what I do to Jayla. This is like I'm pissed off." So we set up a lunch yesterday. I think it was yesterday, Sunday, and I'm giving it to. I told my wife I'm giving it to Jayla. So we go to lunch, sit down, and have lunch. Somehow we had lunch. She left with $50 in her pocket. I gave her, I gave her a big hug.
Oh my gosh! Just you wait. She's gonna get it.
That's how it worked out.
Your money. That's funny.
Yeah, that's how it worked out. Daddy's girl. So
that's all right. That's all right. Yeah. We do what we can, And you are making up for lost time. So.
I am. I'm doing that. Yeah. Do the best I can.
Well, I'm proud of you. I think 2023 is going to be an epic year for you.
I think it's going to be too.
Yeah. So where can people find your music? Oh, the glasses came off.
Actually, I forgot they were on. I forgot.
I thought you looked really cool. I thought you were doing a rock star thing.
No, I really wasn't. I just totally forgot they were on the whole time. I just got those, and I love them.
Oh, that's funny.
But I totally forgot they were on. So yeah. So anyways, I drove a dump truck for 3 months. That's it. I worked dump truck 3 months. Music after that.
Oh, so we're back to 2020. When did you get out of prison?
2019.
And then you worked a dump truck. But Mary said no music. So how did you get back into music?
So we're having dinner one night at the Texas Roadhouse here in the Valley. And my daughter just tells me, she's like, "Dad, are you going to drive a dump truck your life, or are you going to see if your music's any good?" That night, Googled Ray Herndon, because I've loved him. I know about all his music. He's an Arizona legend. I Googled him, and he was playing at the Handlebar J that night.
Okay.
We went straight from there, straight to the Handlebar J. I walked over, and I tapped him on the shoulder, and I said, "Hey, Mr. Herndon, I'm a fan of your work. I'm a fan of everything you've done. My name is Josh Scott. Would you listen to my music?" He's like, "Why don't you get up on stage and sing with us tonight?"
Stop it.
True story. And on the way over, I told my daughter and wife, I said, "What if I sang with Ray Herndon tonight?" They all laughed at me hysterically. And turned out that night, I got up on stage with Ray. We sang 5 or 6 songs. 2 weeks later, I quit my job. We recorded an album.
Oh my gosh. I love that you have to say true story, because your stories are so dramatic.
So dramatic.
No, true story.
But it's
went to prison on my birthday. True story.
Yeah. So that is true.
Wild.
So I met Ray, and I sent him my music. I don't have, I sang it into my phone because I don't play an instrument. Sent it to him. He invited me to his house. He said, "Hey, I think your music's got potential, and I'd like to be a part of it." And Ray is my hero. I love Ray Herndon.
That's cool.
And so yeah, Ray Herndon opened so many doors to me through Nashville and all his connections and all the things he's done in his life. Him and I, he helped me put the music to that bottle, to all my songs. He's helped me write "Redneck Enough to Be Dangerous." He is the biggest change. He's the reason why Ray Herndon being kind to me that night and giving me an opportunity and just giving me a chance changed my life. And I'm doing music today, and I do it for a living because of Ray Herndon.
That's so amazing. Gosh, what a story.
Yeah. That's why, and you're right, sometimes I got to say true story because some of it sounds fabricated. Sorry about this phone here. Jeff Llewellyn. Sorry, Jeff. Can't take your call right now.
I'm with the Patriot Barbie.
Yeah, I'm with the Patriot Barbie. So yeah, so that's the whole story from prison to dump truck driving to country music artist to knowing Ray Herndon to getting to open for Tracy Lawrence and Mark Chestnut and Montgomery Gentry and Doug Stone.
You've already done that?
Yeah.
And was that in Montana?
No, that was out here flying Ranch all over Arizona.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't get that one.
You didn't get that. Mark Chestnut. I got to sing on stage with Mark Chestnut.
Darn you, Josh.
These are things that have crazy things that have happened in my life. Just that because Ray gave me a chance that I've been able to do, and
there's still so much to come.
Yeah, the Daryl Worley thing. I met Daryl Worley in Nashville. I played at the Nashville Palace. I just went up and asked him. I said, "Hey, Mr. Worley, you come out to Arizona to do a show with me?"
He's so cool, too.
He said, "Yeah."
He's the coolest.
Sometimes that's how it works. Just ask people. So
worst they can say is no, right?
That's what I always say.
No. Worst they can say is no.
Kick down some doors, and if they tell you no, there's more doors to go kick down.
That's right.
So yeah, so that's the whole thing. That's how it came about, and it's a crazy story. And it's like I said, God. If you just believe in God, you pray every night. Your dreams can come true, but you got to go after them.
Yep. Good for you.
Yeah.
All right. Where can people download your music and buy it and support you and all that? Look for the truck that cuts you off on the freeway.
Yeah, that's my face on it. So yeah, just go to Josh Scott Music. Just Google Josh Scott Music, and that's you'll find me everywhere.
You got joshscottmusic.com yet?
I do have that, but it's it's kind of being restructured right now because when we first got it, we were on a $300 a gig of bar night income. So we have like a really, really horrible website.
I got somebody for you.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Okay, we'll talk after this.
But we, we got everything else is cool. Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else you can find my music's cool. Redneck Enough to Be Dangerous coming out in about 30 days. This is going to be America's anthem next year.
So cool.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks.
Heard it here first. And what about Patriot Barbie?
What?
Like from getting shut down to just like creating your own way.
Well, they all know my story.
I know, it's pretty cool.
I got to meet you.
Yeah, we got to meet you. It's pretty cool. And she sings mean karaoke.
I do sing a mean karaoke. I've got a list on my phone. You know what? It's funny. We'll end with this great story. I was on the airplane coming from who knows where. And I'm not a creeper, right? But I just kind of noticed the guy next to me, like he's in his like 50s, 60s. He's got a list up, your little notepad where you can make lists. And I noticed that it says karaoke, and he's making a list of songs that he wants to sing karaoke. And I was like, excuse me. And I tapped him, and he goes, yes. And I go, look at this. And I pulled up my phone, and I had a karaoke song list, right? Because when you get there and you've had a couple glasses of wine, you're like, what songs do I sing good again? So I'll go and look at my list and go, oh, yeah, I'm in the mood for that one. He was making his karaoke list. So we talked for like an hour about
awesome.
Karaoke.
That's one thing that being a musician, I don't like to go do karaoke anymore. And my wife's always like, let's go sing karaoke. And I'm like, I'm not.
You guys did it with me. I was very honored.
That's the last time I've done it.
Really?
Yeah. She wants to do it all the time.
Well, guess what I have? I have a really great idea for karaoke.
That's
Carrie Lake.
That's actually pretty cool.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be fun.
Featuring Josh Scott.
That would be fun.
We gotta activate that. Karaoke.
With a bunch of Okies.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun.
I love it.
That'd be a lot of fun. Sorry I talk so much through this podcast. And if you could just take out the emotional part in the beginning, because I'm supposed to be redneck enough to be dangerous.
Oh,
you just cut all that out.
We're actually what is it when they add things in the movies? We're gonna put little teardrops right there too.
They were close to coming already.
CGI. We're gonna CGI some teardrops in there. I know that.
Thank you for having me on here. I love you. I love you, Lindsay. You're awesome.
Thank you. I'm so.
Also too, if y'all are listening and you need a new vehicle, go Liberty GMC.
That's right.
Just tell them Josh Scott sent you. Yeah, she bought 2 of them.
Tell them Patriot Barbie sent you. That way I can try to get a free wrap like this guy did.
Yeah, never mind. Don't tell them I sent you. Tell them Patriot Barbie sent you instead. Maybe we get her a wrap and a new vehicle.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Ready for your cheers?
I'm ready for my cheers.
All right. Josh Scott, cheers to
2023 and this world being redneck enough to be dangerous.
Cheers.
Cheers. I got to drink something.
Drink your water with lemon and honey.
There you go.
Thanks for tuning in to the Patriot Barbie podcast. Follow me on Truth Social at The Patriot Barbie and Instagram at the.patriot.barbie. Subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with your friends. You can find this show, my book Targeted, and my apparel line on www.patriotbarbie.com. God bless America, and God bless you.
It's Dylan's KC Barbecue at 4 Valley locations. Our sports bar in Arrowhead is packed with TVs for the ultimate sports fan. Our Wildlife World Zoo location will have you on the edge of your seat, dining right next to our 60,000-gallon shark tank. Dylan's Bayou at Pleasant Harbor has never-ending sunsets, beautiful people, and live music every weekend. And our newest location, Western Trails Ranch, is 12 acres of rodeo fun and live outdoor concerts for the entire family. It's Dylan's KC Barbecue, where we're elite, unique, and memorable.